Holly, hello, I'm Refashionista Sheri, and I don't know if you guys remember, but a little while ago I shared a kind of mini vintage thrift haul that included this amazing 90s fabric. And today we are going to use this to make an absolutely adorable set for summer. So let's get making. For this cutie patootie project, all you need is a piece of fabric or a huge tablecloth or a big bed sheet that is large enough to wrap around your whole body from your shoulders down to your ankles, as well as a shirt that fits you loosely and has the basic style that you like to use as a template. Okay, so as you can see, for my first step, I laid the fabric down on the floor and then I folded down the top until it got to about the length that I wanted my top to have. Then I placed my template shirt on top and made sure I had a few centimeters of seam allowance there. And now I am just going to go cut the fabric to size. Okay, so now that I have my fabric cut for the top, let's go make it. Okay, so as always, to find the center area to put my head hole, I have folded my fabric in half once again, this time lengthwise, right? It was folded widthwise, and now we fold it in half again lengthwise, and I popped a pin there into that folded corner. And now when I open it up, this should be hopefully exactly the center. Okay, so now I have my fabric opened up one time and I have my template top folded in half, and I have the corner side of my collar lined up with the pin. So hopefully when I open up my template top, I now have the center of the neckline marked, and now I can go mark the rest of my neckline and get chopping. Okay, so you can see here that I have my marks where I need my neckline to be, and I actually took it in about 1 centimeter on each side. So now I'm just going to cut a really easy slit right there because I'm not exactly sure the shape I want my neckline to have, so I'm just going to basically cut there so I know where I want to have it. Okay, so I have chopped my little neckline area here on the top fold of my fabric, and I also took the time to mark out the side area of my template top onto my fabric. So you can see it's kind of like a reverse L shape here, and so I'm just going to go and stitch along all of my pins to create the kind of side seams and sleeves. And as you can see, I did go ahead and I've already chopped out the area of excess fabric where I stitched it. And now all I have to do is fold my fabric evenly in half and use this side as the template for this side. So I'm going to go and do that, and then we're going to try it on and see what else we're going to do to this top. And I have this on inside out now, but you can see it's pretty much a shirt, you know? I mean, I wouldn't say I would be finished now because clearly it needs some hemming and some finishing touches, but it looks pretty cool and it's super airy and flowy and lightweight. If anybody has any more tips and tricks for working with this kind of super silky, lightweight fabric, please do let me know because I'm all ears. This fabric drives me nuts when I'm working with it. And I did get some good tips last time I asked, but I'm always learning and I always want more. So give me more. Give me all the tips you have for sewing, please. Anyway, so I actually don't have to hem up the sleeve cuffs because how I cut it, these edges here were actually the finished edges of the fabric. So yay me, but I do have to finish off the bottom hem, and you can see here I just did a really simple circular cut neckline, so I'm going to finish that off too, so let's go do that. Okay, so I went ahead and just did a really quick and easy hem on the bottom of my shirt. and on the neckline. And, you know, it doesn't look great. The neckline actually looks pretty... So one of my greatest refashionista tips ever is if something doesn't work out and, you know, it's good enough, but the end result isn't exactly as you wanted it, cover it up, grab some trim, and simply go ahead and cover it up. And because this came out pretty wonky here, I think, again, it's down to the fabric and my lack of experience working with this type of fabric, but I do think it does need to have some kind of structure there, and this vintage trim is pretty heavy duty, so I think that is definitely going to help. So I'm going to actually stitch this around the front as well as the interior, just to give it that bit of extra structure. And I'm also, of course, so it matches, going to do a line of it all the way around the bottom hem as well. Okay, that looks so much nicer. It actually stands up nicely. Like I said, putting the double layer here really gave it a lot of structure, which is wonderful because this is a very light fabric. So I can't wait to get it on and see what it actually is going to look like. But the bottom also looks fantastic. And I did have enough left over that I put a bunch all around the sleeves as well. So now I have my top finished. Let's move on to what we're going to do for the bottom part. So I have this rather large square of fabric left, and it very comfortably wraps all the way around my body. So I think I'm going to make a cool matching maxi skirt. And again, it's a square, so it really doesn't matter which way I fold the right sides together. But once again, I want to utilize this finished edge. So I'm going to have one of the finished edges at the top and the other one at the bottom. And I'm just going to fold it with right sides facing, like so. And then stitch these chopped raw edges together to create a very long, wide tube. Okay, that is now all nicely stitched together. So now I'm just going to fold the top bit down to the inside because I'm making a casing for my elastic waist, just, you know, the simplest way to do a waistband, and that should be fine. So just gonna pop a pin there so I know the width. Okay, so if you don't like doing this kind of elastic waist, I shall link down below for my super duper comfy yoga style waistband, which uses a simple t-shirt. And yeah, you can use that for skirts and lounge pants and whatever the heck you need a comfy waistband for, so that will be down below for you. Okay, so I have my elastic waist all inserted and finished off, and I popped on the skirt and chopped to the length I wanted it, and then of course I went ahead and finished off the bottom hem with some more of that lovely vintage trim. So now we can try it all on and style it up. Yay! Another rockin' Refashionista triumph. Seriously? Again, this is another one that came out so much better than I thought it was going to. And as I explained in my previous video, I never use patterns or anything because my brain doesn't work that way. How it kind of goes with me is I see something, like I saw this fabric in the thrift store, and instantly it came in my head, oh, that would look so cool as like a top and a skirt set. And then right after that, immediately after that, it goes in my head the steps I think I might need to do in order to make it. And wow, this came out so much better than I thought it would, especially because, like I said, this fabric was really hard to work with. But it had the actual bonus here with the hem. It's like a gentle high-low hem. So I didn't intend that. It just happened, and it looks... It just really makes the outfit, I think. It's just perfect. So yay for making mistakes and fixing them. Anyway, do let me know down below what you think, which accessories you think look the best with this. There's so many colors in here. Like I I can wear it with so many different accessories, but you know, you let me know which one you like the best. And as always too, please pop on over to refashionistasherry.com. From there, you can get to my ebooks, my e-courses, and of course my blog. And remember that I started all of this way back in 2011 with a blog. And it wasn't until 3 or 4 years later that I started my channel. And when I first started, and actually up until just a few years ago, I was posting 5 days a week on my blog because I got it in my head for some reason that that's what everybody did. And it's like, yeah, that's what everybody does when they have like a staff of 10 people, not when they're one person, but I did it. So over on my blog, there's actually over 1,600 tutorials and articles and pre-loved styles stuff and just loads of stuff over there. So absolutely pop on over to my blog, check through all of the older posts. And really by older, I just mean, you know, a couple years, because it was a couple years ago I started to concentrate more on my channel because it was really growing. So yeah, like I said, go over there. I always post new stuff over there too that maybe might not be on the channel. Definitely check out the older posts. And yeah, I don't know who's doing troll time today, so let's just see. Take it away, random staff member. Hallo, es ist mir, Frau Inge, und today I am doing the troll time once again for Refashionista Sheri. And today's troll is a little bit, I don't know, this is very interesting. So let's just read it. Okay, so today's troll is, his name is Dwayne. And Dwayne says, you shouldn't post things if you're not a trained expert. You're lying to people who think you know what you're doing. Okay, so Dwayne, by your logic, by your brain, you should not be posting anything because clearly you are not an expert in the English language. You have spelling mistakes, you have grammar mistakes, and you do not know the difference between 2 and 2 and 2, it looks like. So you should not be posting. And this is from your own rules that you are making for strangers on the internet, okay? Now, something that people might not realize, which is strange but true, is that when Refashionista Sheri gets a troll comment, of course, the first thing she's doing is she's going and looking at the profile of these people. And I think that's a very human nature thing to do, right? Like you want to see who is being so mean to me. Sometimes she doesn't with the really, really gross, disgusting ones. But something like this, yes, she's going to check. So Dwayne, of course, has a public profile because they always do, right? They want everybody on the internet to see their sad little lives. So again, on Dwayne's profile, he's saying here, you don't post things unless you are a trained expert, okay? Trained, not just expert, trained expert. But I'm thinking that Dwayne is not a FBI or a CIA or a scientist or a doctor or a mathematician or any of the things that you would have to be an expert to be posting the things he is posting on his profile, which of course is just full of, you know, conspiracy theories and all of these things. So I think we can kind of take Dwayne's comment and tear it into little pieces and throw it away because it's not making sense and he's not an expert. And I'm also wondering, what is making an expert? Is it simply because you go to some university, or is it because you have years and years and years of experience doing something and maybe even you teach these things? I'm not sure. You let me know down below what you are thinking an expert is. If, you know, maybe something like 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 years of experience doing something makes you an expert, perhaps, I'm not sure. Or if it's only, you know, the piece of paper from a school or a college or university. And something like refashioning, I think anybody can be an expert in that, really, right? But I do really think that somebody who has been doing it for a very, very long time, many years, probably has learned a thing or two and knows what they're talking about, and is, with anything, I think it's important to understand that as humans, we should always be learning and improving our craft and our talents and our expertise, right? So I think that is something else, that you can be an expert at something, you can be very, very talented at something, but you also can still be learning and improving, because everything can be improved upon. Nothing is perfect in this world. And on that note, I also want to say that you know, always thinking something needs to be perfect, well, perfection is the enemy of good, correct? So keeping that in your mind, you know, not everything has to be exactly perfect how you want it to be. If you can accept that it's good, it's very, very good, I can be happy with just good, then you are on your way to becoming an expert. So on that note, I think it is time to say, please stay safe and please stay well. And Refashionista Sheri and I, we will catch you on the zigzag.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.